Mehmet 是以色列最顶尖的高科技投资人之一，他被称为是10大影响以色列的美国人和全球最具影响力的50位犹太人。他在2013年呢，创办了全球最大的股权众筹平台之一 Our Crowd。这个风投加众筹的平台可以让资源有限，但是有兴趣参与到高科技行业发展的人进行专业的项目筛选，让他们以很低的投资额度和李嘉诚、阿里巴巴、通用电气等以相同的条款去合投某个项目，是一个具有颠覆性的商业模式。So John, what motivated you to start Our Crowd?
I wanted to help people get access to the venture capital asset class. If you look today at who's making the money in investing in technology, it's not the investor who's investing in the public company. It's the investor who invests in private companies and the startups. The problem is, how do you do it? You can't just call up your broker at Goldman Sachs and say, get me a private, startup. They don't do that. It's not public. So that's why we set up Our Crowd.
Our Crowd 这个股权众筹平台自2013年创办以来，已经聚集了来自112个国家的2万个投资人，改变了投资初创企业的小圈子游戏规则，让更多人参与进来成为玩家。通过 Our Crowd 的投资额已达5亿美金，投资的企业里面已有16家公司上市成功退出。
So what's the minimum threshold that people need to invest?
$10,000. So in the U.S., for example, you have to have $1 million of investable capital. China and Hong Kong, they're what are called AIs, or accredited investors. By the way, it's not anybody can come, unfortunately. But there are a lot of people like this. We estimate that there are about 100 million potential investors in that group.
And they can choose the deals that they want to go into.
It's really remarkably accessible. Very democratic. Is the guy or the woman who puts in $10,000 gets the same deal as the billionaire. For example, we've done several deals where we've co-invested in the same company at the same time with Li Ka-shing and Horizon Ventures. And we get a lot of Chinese who come in and say, well, I see that you're investing with Mr. Li. I'm not getting the same terms, am I? And I said, yeah, you're buying the same.
Too good to be true.
No, exactly. And then we write one check to the company.
Like a consortium.
So, and the company looks at us and says, oh, another venture capital fund. Instead of having 20 LPs, they have 20,000. And instead of LPs who are passive, their LPs are active. As an individual, you're not at the same league. But when we put all of you together and then we go in as a crowd, as a group, then we have the same stature and get the same treatment.
And that's the power of the crowd.
That is the power of the crowd.
And the beauty of it.
It's a wonderful job. I mean, if you ask me, I'm very blessed to get up in the morning and to basically, my job is either to sit with entrepreneurs and hear them tell me dreams, right? I'm like a dream listener, but I'm also a dream enabler, and that I can sit with them and then make a decision together with my partners to back them. And then I have to help them convey their dreams to the crowd and bring in other enablers who will then help, make dreams come true.
创业公司通常有3种融资渠道，在项目最早期时会向天使投资人募集资金，随着企业逐步成长壮大，再从风险投资机构、私募股权或大企业内里募集更多的资金。全球性股权众筹平台的出现，为企业家融资提供了一种新途径。
So how does this change the game for entrepreneurs?
Now there's a fourth way, which is crowdfunding. So having a new way of getting money, I think, is extraordinarily important and necessary, because there really isn't enough money going into these private companies.
Will this crowd out like venture capital funding in the future?
No. I think that there will be room for everybody in the innovation game, but we're going to be a much bigger part of it. If you look, by the way, the data I just saw shows that in Israel already crowdfunding represents about 10% of the early stage venture capital. So it's growing, and I hope we'll get to 20 or 30% of that. But I think with the rise of platforms like our crowd and crowdfunding and global platforms, we'll be able to make the world a smaller place. So we can hook up entrepreneurs with investors. We can hook up companies, that are innovative with bigger multinationals. And that will start to, I think, shrink distances.
在世界上很多地方，募集资金是比较困难的。全球性股权众筹平台的兴起，可以疏解资源分配不平等造成的融资困难，也缩小了世界各地的距离。股权众筹平台不仅可以为企业带来资金，还可以带来很多资源、关系、建议，建立一个大社区。
And all of a sudden, you have this global network with investors from 110 countries who can really provide funding and help to startup companies.
So not just the money, but you build a community around it as well.
Absolutely. The crowd has a lot of potential value if it's properly organized for the entrepreneur. And the most important thing is that now the entrepreneur can be anywhere. And through the brilliance of these online networks can connect to that money. The investor doesn't have to be in Silicon Valley. He can be anywhere. And I think that's really one of the great advantages of crowdfunding. We're different, by the way, because there are a lot of crowdfunding sites that don't really care what happens to the company.
Yeah, because the entry barrier is actually not that high to set up a crowdfunding.
Yeah, you
right?
set up and you put stuff up. But our difference is on several areas. Number one, we check out each company. We do what's called due diligence, just the way the venture capitalists do. We see thousands of deals every year, and we select 1 to 2% of them. And then once we select that company, we put our own money in. So most crowdfunding sites, they don't select. They just let anybody come. In fact, the more come, the better, because they charge the companies money to get up on their site. Because if you charge money to the company, you're going to get the worst companies. Because the good companies don't need to pay anybody to get money. Most crowdfunding sites, they either take money from the company, so the company pays them a bonus, and then they say, thank you, here's the money, we're gone. We want to bring the crowd into investment, but we want to do it in a responsible way, where you select the companies carefully, where you invest alongside venture capitalists and angels, as well as support the company, manage the investment, sit on the board, and add value from the crowd.
创新浪潮席卷全球，很多人都希望参与到初创企业的成长。像 Our Crowd 这样精心设计的股权众筹平台，在亚洲市场发展的比较慢，因此有不少中国客户慕名来到它的耶路撒冷总部。这个平台也成为了中以合作互补的窗口。
And do you find more and more Chinese investors coming to your platform?
Yes, we're thank God, seeing an enormous stream of Chinese investors. So many, in fact, that it's sort of hard. Okay, I mean, but challenging in a good way. I mean, we literally, there's hardly a day where you don't have one Chinese delegation. Some days we have 2 or 3. And this is extraordinary because not only are they learning and watching and seeing, but we're learning from each other and we're developing relationships. In other words, we didn't have a big interaction with Chinese culture for most of our history. But what's uncanny is how many similarities there are.
What are you seeing?
Oh, well, first of all, it's focus on family. Here in Israel, family is everything. It's paramount. And in China, it's the same. It's filial piety. It's respecting your elders. And it's remembering where you came from. And that shared value system is extraordinary. Focus on education. That education is everything. You make sure that, and whether it's a Jewish mom and a Tiger mom, together doing their thing, it's very strong women. But I think another similarity between our peoples is we're both basically optimistic. That we believe that it's going to get better.
But despite all the similarities that you mentioned, the two people came out to be very different. Chinese are not known to be very innovative. Like, any suggestions for them to encourage creativity?
Well, first of all, I celebrate differences because I think differences create complementary skill sets. And today you don't need more people who think or look the same. You need more people who can help each other accomplish different things. So, for example, Chinese businesses understand scale. They understand planning, execution, manufacturing, delivering.
Efficiency.
Yeah, all that. That's what you guys are great at. We're really good at like the innovation stage, the prototype. And I think, when you put that together with your market and our innovation, there's just huge potential. So I think it's less about, making Chinese more like Israelis or Israelis more like Chinese. But I think it's how you find ways for people to get together and do things in a combined way, in a new way that would be productive.
以色列是许多现代科技的发源地，而在下一波科技浪潮中，以色列又将扮演什么样的角色？下一节，在高新科技投资领域有丰富经验的 John 将介绍以色列科技的几大前沿领域，并分析社会如何应对科技带来的影响。
其实我们生活中的很多东西都是在以色列发明，从 U 盘、手机的核心技术、胶囊内窥镜到即时通讯软件的鼻祖 ICQ 等。那下一波的科技浪潮究竟是什么？以色列的创新又是否可持续呢？ And what technological innovations do you think will drive our civilization in the next 10 to 20 years?
I think that digital health is one of the most exciting things out there. The most important medical device for mankind is the mobile phone. And that's a good piece of news because we all have them, or soon we'll all have them.
The penetration is high.
Very high. And the ability now to essentially diagnose, get help, get digital help. We have a company called Sweech who are doing a digital vaccine for diabetes.
What do you mean by digital vaccine?
If you follow the instructions on this program on your phone, you will reduce your chances of developing diabetes, proven in clinical trials. And that kind of having a personal coach, which is a machine learning driven process, that is a vaccine. That is a digital vaccine to disease.
So personalized and preventive.
Absolutely. And that's a revolution. If you're at 2 o'clock in the morning, your kid is screaming from an earache, and that high resolution picture now goes over the mobile network to your doctor. And eventually, by the way, this will be the machines, right? Machines will be giving. We have another company called Zebra Medical. They use machine learning to interpret and diagnose from medical imaging using artificial intelligence. Virtual reality and augmented reality, I think, are very important areas to look at. We have a company called Surgical Theater. And Surgical Theater came about because 2 Israeli flight simulation guys who built flight simulators for the F-16 today leads the world in simulation of complex surgery. What they do is they'll create a 3D model which will allow the doctor to see exactly what he's going to do.
以色列创业者擅长跨学科思维，医疗与大数据、机器学习结合，可以得到疾病数字疫苗；与移动摄像技术结合，可以进行远程门诊；与人工智能结合，可以实现医疗影像诊断；与虚拟现实技术结合，则进军复杂的外科手术模拟行业。而以色列在农业、太空领域迫于需求，通过创新也成为了领航者。
I think that agriculture is really important. Israel leads the world in precision agriculture, but as you know, we're now going beyond drips. We're going to sort of wireless irrigation. So instead of having to lay pipes, you can use sensors like in CropX and put them in the field and determine this. But it's also the ability now to combine satellite information, drone information, get it all on your cell phone, have IoT sensors that are measuring the absorption of pesticides, moving beyond pesticides. We have a company called Eden Shield, which is doing a completely organic stealth product which essentially hides the smell of plants so that you don't have to kill the bugs. The bugs never find your plants. And so now it can be fully organic, no pesticide at all, no bugs. What Israel is doing in space. Because in Israel, when we shoot things into space, we can't shoot to the east. That way doesn't work very well, because when you shoot that way, it will land over some neighbors who won't be happy. So we have to shoot to the west, which is the wrong way, right? If you look at how people shoot into space, they always use the way that the Earth spins to get a little bit of, additional benefit. But we shoot over the Mediterranean Sea the wrong way, so we have to shoot really small payloads. So that Israel has developed the best technology for nano satellites, really small satellites.
出于需求，以色列人在网络科技、国防安全、无人机领域走在世界前沿，而这些领域所倚重的数据、传感器、计算机视觉等技术，也是自动驾驶领域发展的核心，因而令以色列在发展无人车方面也成为了佼佼者。
Well, this country has really emerged now as a leader in the next generation car and autonomous driving area. So the company Mobileye here in Jerusalem, which was started about 20 years ago, they grew, they got funding. They were just bought for $15 billion
by
Intel. But what's amazing about it is they said, no, we're moving all of our activity to Jerusalem in the car area. That is going to be the center of Intel's worldwide move into this arena. By the way, they paid about 10% of their market cap, for this company. So it was a big, important strategic move. And it turns out that now there are about 400 new Israeli startups doing next generation car technology.
科技发展是一把双刃剑，但也是不可逆转的潮流。众人认为，科技发展最终是有利于全社会的事情，应该通过终身学习去跟得上科技发展的步伐。
When you have this wonderful revolution of autonomous driving, it's great. It's going to reduce energy, and it's going to reduce our congestion on the highways and make things cheaper for transportation. But on the other hand, we're going to throw millions, tens of millions of people out of work who are today behind the wheel driving for a living. But I don't look at that as a absolutely negative thing. It's a positive thing. It's the way the world works. And we have
it's not a positive thing for the people who are affected.
No, but absolutely. But those people have to now be re-educated, have to be given jobs, have to be helped by the government.
How, though?
It's
usually, lifelong learning is, for people who are, who have the time, the money, and the resources to conduct the lifelong learning.
Because everybody, there's this notion which is wrong that technology is only for the elite. You take the average kid or even the average adult, we all work with technology every day. And it's it's like learning a new language. And a lot of people can be pushed beyond their comfort zone and can do things that are interesting.
But they need to have that sense of urgency.
They do, and that's the problem, right? In other words, no one, I think, is talking to them directly and honestly and saying, brother, you've got 10 years. Get ready. This hurricane is coming. We can't stop it. There's no way to stop it. We know that these people are going to lose their jobs, but let's get ready. Let's address this for once, not after the fact, but before the fact. And I don't have a silver bullet. That's a societal good. You have to look at the balance.
Who's the best for the society?
Hopefully
right?
the people. Today is that entrepreneurs are getting a chance not to decide, but to contribute to this debate. Entrepreneurs, by creating new technologies, are giving people the ability to vote with their pocketbook, with their feet, with their eyeballs, with their fingers, and to choose new ways of doing things. Don't complain. Don't be afraid. Go reinvent yourself. Reinvent your own business. Realize that the future is coming. Okay, it's not winter is coming.
20岁中期是John人生中的一个重要转折点。在这个阶段，他决定从美国移居以色列，也完成了从历史系学生到创业者再到投资人的身份转变。这种决心魄力和冒险精神是以色列人的一种共性。
People who are doctors and coders, who are pilots and hardware specialists, it's just there's a very strong sense of not being compartmentalized, of being broad in terms of your outlook, because that's the way that real world problems are solved. Typical Israeli way is not to go up the hill directly, but to go around the hill, to think out of the box and to bring multidisciplinary skills to bear.
But where do they come from? Where does this, problem-solving skills come from?
Well, again, the army.
以色列的年轻人都需要服兵役，培养出众多任务驱动型、执行力很强的人，还有服务国家和回报社会的意识。这种服务、回报、团队合作和互帮互助的精神，被带到创业公司时，就成为了动力、激情和使命感，让以色列的企业、科技生态系统乃至整个民族都受益无穷。
The reality is we're a very small country, but we love it when we get together. And so Israelis work well in groups. And again, part of it's part of the army. There's a sense of biyachad, which in Hebrew means together, that is extraordinarily important. And Israelis will help each other. Some cities of the world, something terrible could happen to you, people will walk by. They don't want to be involved. Here is the only place in the world where, God forbid, a bomb goes off and people run towards the bomb. They don't run away from the bomb. They want to engage and save lives and help people. And it's that sense of we're in this together, which I think makes this country a very special place.
John 是一个充满热情的人，他热爱他的家园，他拥抱高科技，他竭力帮助初创企业成长壮大，他对未来充满希望。记得一位犹太裔的诺贝尔奖得主曾经说过，要做创业者就是要带点妄想症，因为在失败率这么高的情况下，要相信别人做不到的事情你能做到，别人会输而你会赢。如果整个民族都是带着这种过分乐观的态度去看待未来，又战战兢兢的、脚踏实地的去把每一步走好，朝着这个方向去前进，又有什么可能不成功呢？
下一集我们拜访以色列的2家与水有关的初创企业。WaterGem 发明了让空气变成水的机器，而 CropX 将展示精细农业领域的无线滴灌技术。以色列作为一个资源短缺的国家，向我们展示它如何开源节流，通过创新成为科技领航者。
接着为您播出雅居乐地产筑梦天下。